Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. So here we are, we've got a new leader of the SNP, much like the old leader, of course, but he does have this opportunity to change things, and by doing so, he could possibly change his party's chances in a general election. But can Swinney, as the new First Minister, boost the SNP's electoral chances at that general election whenever it can be called? We know it's on its way. We know it isn't far away. It's very close. It's just a question of when Rishi drops the flag and says, "Gentlemen, start your engines." But it can't be long now. Every day we're getting closer to when it has to be. So who knows? But has Swinney got it? Has he done enough? Has he done enough already to make a difference? I suspect probably not. I mean, recent polls have been very, very grim for the SNP. One by the Sunday Times last week said that the party would retain, 15, just 15 seats out of its current 43. This is at the forthcoming general election. This is the Westminster seats. And that forecast is coming after that turbulent week, which saw Yousaf announce his resignation, and then the rise of that little new boy, Swinney, fresh-faced youth. And of course, that hasn't changed anything, because, of course, where Humza Yousaf was seen and deemed to be a failure as a leader, a failure as a First Minister, a failure just generally in everything he's done, Swinney's come in and it's supposed to be, oh, look, we've got a new leader. But you haven't. You've got this old, worn-out man who led before, who failed before, and they're bringing him back for a second go on the hope that he won't completely screw up everything this time. Too late. You wander around Holyrood, and all you're seeing is Douglas Ross and Anas Sarwar tripping the like fantastic with a grin from ear to ear. And indeed, beyond the mere confines of their face, they are that happy because they know, looking at the SNP and looking to who the SNP have just put in charge, that they have got absolute nothing to worry about. They are clean, clear, and with a fresh pair of heels running off into the distance in terms of support. Now, we know, come the general election, Labour are going to give the SNP a bloody nose. But the Tories are even looking at increasing their number of seats in Scotland. Not the Tory party in the rest of Britain, not the English and Welsh Tory party. They're royally buggered, aren't they? But the Scots Tories, they're going from strength to strength. They're going to up their numbers, which I think is stunning. It goes to show how bad the SNP have got. And yet, what do they need to do at the next election? Simple. Shut up. Don't say a word. Let the SNP open their mouths, because every time they do, it costs them votes, it costs them supporters, it costs them goodwill, it costs them everything. But it was them, of course. They brought down Yousaf. It was Ross. Ross and his no confidence motion, and they did the numbers. And obviously, with Yousaf reliant upon Ash Regan and the boys in the back room saying no, he knew he was done. And so, yes, Douglas Ross brought down Yousaf, but bringing in Swinney, forcing him out and bringing in Swinney, the opposition parties may have just given the SNP a little bounce. You get that new leader bounce, yeah? No. There really has been very little by new leader bounce. Normally you get that honeymoon period. Not a chance. No honeymoon period. Curtis, Professor Ian Curtis, Professor John Curtis, said that there has been a slight uplift because Swinney is seen as possibly doing a good job by 37% of SNP voters, as opposed to 28% for Humza Yousaf. Now, that's SNP voters. That's how bad it is, when only a third of your own base think you're even possible of doing a good job. And that is ridiculously low numbers. Only 28% think that they're likely to vote for Swinney. 28% is appallingly low for this party. And it is just that sort of thing. There has been no bounce, no honeymoon period. It's already over. He's now got to get down to the hard task of actually running the country. And what is he going to do? He's got an entire government built on the shakiest of shaky foundations. He's got to unite the party, which is riven by so many areas of civil war. Unbelievably bad. He's brought in the assistant caretaker now. So the caretaker's got an assistant in the form of Kate Forbes, who he's given this little title to, but there's no real job for her to do. But she can go around and go, look at me, and stand there and wave a tentacle and say, I've got a proper job now, and earn 100 and whatever thousand a year, but doing bugger all. But she doesn't care. Money, isn't it? Money and a title, lovely. Don't actually have to do anything for it. And already, and we'll discuss this later in a video later when I look at the new cabinet, but already he's upset some in his party by firing the Minister for Independence. Now, not the man. The man's been moved to a different role, but they've actually got rid of the role of Minister of Independence. And that's upset some. He's supposed to be uniting the party, and already he's bringing them and splitting them. Now, obviously, he's split with the Greens. He don't care about them anymore. And by putting Kate Forbes in, he's given the two fingers up to them. And that's fine. So he won't be expecting much from them. Excuse me. But, you look at the policies that they forced. Things like heat pumps in new builds, heat pumps in rental properties from 2028. Both of those, of course, will massively damage the housing market and the construction market, because people don't want to buy new houses with heat pumps. They'll buy older houses, all that capital locked up in new builds that they can't sell. So, construction companies will just sort of have to lay people off. Those workers will go down south to get work. Then, of course, in 2027, all the landlords will flog their houses. There'll be all these houses come onto the market at once. It will depress house prices, put people into negative equity, make the construction industry even worse, fewer rental properties for those who need to rent, and then on top of that as well, rent controls. How do they think that's going to affect the world? These people are utter lunatics. Of course you had to abandon the Greens, but now they must abandon all those green policies, or the Scottish housing and construction market sector, will utterly, it will just implode. It won't be there anymore. It will go. And Scotland will fall. The economy relies on construction. And if you take that out, it's gone. So you've got rid of the Greens, get rid of the green policies. Will he have the balls? His predecessor didn't, so I can't see him having them. It's just bad, isn't it? And then, of course, like I say, you've got this election coming up, and you're not prepared for it. And the economy's sinking, and jobs are going, and everybody sees you for what you are. It is the emperor's new clothes, and I'm afraid the caretaker is standing there, in Bute House, on the balcony, waving at his new subjects, completely naked. And it's a horrible thought. Thanks for listening. Bye.